News 46 is brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight on News 46, 2 families are displaced after a house fire.
A biker is severely injured in a crash.
And the Board of County Commissioners looks into some possible brothel violations. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell and Zach Reinert. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, May 3rd, 2017. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Zach Reinert for News 46.
It's a heartbreaking scene to see someone's home literally go up in smoke. A house was destroyed by fire yesterday and several residents displaced. News 46 spoke to Chief Lewis today from Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue to get an update on exactly what happened on the south end of town.
Dispatch report of a structure fire. While we were responding, we received notifications that the fire was well developed on the back side of the house and was extending to closely placed vehicles. Upon arrival, we found the report as dictated. Heavy fire in the back, heavy smoke throughout, extending to nearby vehicles, as well as an abundance of personal property stored at the rear of the house.
Was there a delayed notification in this?
You know, there was people who were within 50 to 70 feet of the structure at the time that the fire started. However, it's been indicated that they didn't notice that there was a fire. So we believe there was a delay. We're uncertain as to the amount of time that delay was in effect.
Firefighters were on scene well into the evening last night. Was there an excessive amount of belongings inside? Why was the fire so hot?
First of all, it was a dry day, hot day, windswept. There was an overabundance of personal property surrounding the structure, as well as the materials stored in a fashion that would allow that fire to go both underneath the structure and quickly spread into the attic space. The attic space has cellulose insulation, which retains that heat, adds a lot of difficulty for us in suppression. As you saw yesterday, that there was pockets of fire always developing, and that's in that cellulose insulation.
It also jumped the street, didn't it?
It did. At one moment, or a brief moment in time, it actually leapt over due to the winds. Nearby ground cover, easily taken care of.
You asked for some mutual aid.
We did. We had an engine company for mutual aid. And one of the reasons for that is because of the conditions. Again, we wanted to make sure that if there was any exposure issues, that we had an additional engine that we could deploy.
Tell me a little bit more about the fire, because it destroyed this home completely. What else was destroyed?
Well, when you talk about the house in totality, the structure is still standing. However, it has significant damage to that back side, which was the way it was at the time we got the report. So the crews pretty much held the fire in check for the most part. That attic was the big challenge, because every time crews would get in there, they commenced what was called a modified interior attack. So they quickly knocked down the fire at the backside, and they commenced an interior attack through the front door. However, when they got in there, ceilings and floors were collapsing, so we had to pull them out, which then meant we had to go to a defensive attack, which is a less effective way of doing it. But for safety reasons, there was no other way to do it.
This was a rental property?
No, it was actually owned by the occupants that were there. However, they were trying to create a multi-occupancy structure out of the double wide.
Tell me what that means.
So it was being occupied by 2 separate families by a dividing wall running within the structure.
And that was an issue, wasn't it? Because they have the electricity hooked up differently. That might have been the issue in this fire?
Well, we're looking into all aspects of what the cause may be, but clearly there was electrical issues that were, we observed from the very beginning of the incident.
There was an arrest on scene?
Yes, there was. I guess one of the occupants in the structure may have had outstanding warrants. The sheriff's office recognized that fact, and after the interviews were completed and the scene was stabilized, and they then effected arrest.
Well, homeowners on Red Rock Drive were left cleaning up debris following a motorcycle crash in their yard that required Mercy Air to transport the rider to a trauma center in Las Vegas.
During our suppression effort on Wall Street, we received a call for an injury motorcycle accident in the area of Red Rock. Our crews responded, and while they were responding, we were notified that there was a serious extremity injury. So we placed Mercy Air on standby. When crews arrived on location, they completed their scene size up and their risk assessment of the patient and determined that the patient's injuries sustained were consistent with that of needing a trauma center. So instead of bringing Mercy Air to the scene, they then transported that patient to Base 21 where that patient transfer was taken care of, and then the patient flown to UMC Trauma.
Only one vehicle involved in this?
It's my understanding it was a one-vehicle accident.
Turned out to occur on the corner there into somebody's property, right?
It's my understanding, yes.
And the Board of County Commissioners have set a date for a show cause hearing for brothel owner Dennis Hof. During a check on February 11th by the Nye County District Attorney's investigator, allegedly 6 of the 12 prostitutes working at the Alien Cat House in Amargosa had expired work permits and were not current on their medical exams. The exams must be conducted every 7 to 10 days on the working girls and cleared by a physician in order to be on the floor working. The hearing scheduled for Hof will address these alleged violations and possible sanctions, which could include suspending his license and possible fines.
Board of Nye County Licensing and Liquor Board, we have one item, discussion deliberation regarding requests at daytime location for show cause hearing.
This was first inspected back in February. I think it's been a long enough time that in between I would like to set the daytime and location for May 10th at 10 a.m. in the chambers in Pahrump.
Okay, may I make a suggestion that we do it at 8 a.m. on the 17th, Wednesday the 17th?
I withdraw my motion. I'll second that one.
I'll withdraw my second.
Okay, we got a
And I
motion and a
made
second for the 17th at 8 a.m., correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that enough time to get staff in here and set them up? Is that time for the DA to get here and get set up?
We
Okay.
have not here.
No, we have it. I have a motion and a second, 17th, 8 a.m., show cause hearing. Is there any more discussion on it? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes.
All right, when we come back, a 5th grader gets to be a superintendent for a day. Stick with us.